if a woman is considering placing a child for adoption, she really needs to do some soul searching within herself and look, like I had said before, to sort of take a look at what her motivation is or what her motives are or where she wants to be in 5 or 10 years. And I think that might be really difficult for some birth parents because you're sort of in this here and now, like right now. But I honestly can say that as a birth parent, it was hard for me to think ahead in the future. But someone who's trying to make that decision really needs to just, I guess, try and take some of the emotion out of it and to do what they feel is not only best for themselves, but best for their families at the time and best for that child. And I think that that's hard for some women to say, hey, you know, something that might be good for me might not be good for my child. And I just think that it's definitely a decision that you don't want to enter into lightly. And you really want to make sure that you put a lot of thought behind it and to make sure that you understand what you're doing. And so I would just make sure that you're working with the right kind of agency or to make sure that you're comfortable with the family that you're choosing. I mean, I feel honored and blessed that everything that I have gone through was perfect in a sense that I didn't have any issues. I didn't have any problems deciding who the family was. I didn't have any doubts. And I guess that's because I always follow my heart. I always trust my gut. And I guess that's what I would say to somebody looking for answers. You're not going to find a lot of magic answers in anything. You've got to trust your gut and follow your heart. Out of all these years, there's certainly been a lot of times where I felt like I couldn't talk about placing a son for adoption. I still think that there's a huge stigma out there to birth mothers or birth parents in general. Although things are changing, I had a hard time telling my husband now about the son that I placed for adoption. But I told him, when we were dating, I want to make sure that it's out in the open and that you know that I have a son out there, and whether or not you can accept it will certainly impact our relationship. Because for me, if you can't accept it, then I don't want to be with you. And that kind of goes for my friends as well. I think I'm a pretty open person, and I'm a very honest person. And I guess I just expect people to accept me and accept the fact that I did it, and I did it for the right reasons at the time. But over these years, I've certainly come across plenty of people who couldn't really understand and still don't. You know, they still ask me, how could you do that? Why would you do that? You know. And I just kind of shrug my shoulders and say, if you can't understand that I made that decision because it was the right thing at the right time and it was the right choice for me and for my son, then that's their problem that they can't understand it. I'm comfortable with it, and he's happy, and that makes me happy. So I guess I don't really care about other people's opinions anymore. It can be frustrating. It can be really, really frustrating if somebody doesn't understand. But I think as long as I'm okay with it, and it's taken me a long time to come to terms with it and to just accept it for what it is, and you gotta just move on with your life and be happy. And I think seeing him happy is really what makes me happy. And that's what makes me okay with it. Because I know there's no way I could have given him the kind of life that they've given him. And I'm extremely grateful. I'm so grateful.